Living Power with Dan Hurst.
Now, what are the misuses of a person who has the gift of administration? Sometimes they'll misuse their gift, do it inappropriately, and there are 8 basic things that happens. Then there may be more, but these are 8 that we see commonly. Number 1, they begin seeing people as human resources rather than human beings. It's like I'm using you. They start using people because they've got to get the project done. The project becomes more important than the person. The second misuse is they use people to accomplish personal ambitions. We got to get this done. This is so important. We have to do this. When in fact it's I've got to get this done. This is my personal ambition. This is the way I think it should be done. And it becomes a personal thing as opposed to really something that God has really led them to do. The third thing is showing favoritism to those who appear to be more loyal. And that can be a mistake. We talked earlier about needing that loyalty and confidence, and sometimes the right person isn't picked for a job simply because they haven't shown loyalty and confidence. And a misuse would be to show favoritism to those who appear to be more loyal. The fourth thing is taking charge of projects that are not God's direction. You have the gift of administration. I can get it done. I can put the people together to get this thing done. I'll take care of it. You know, somebody who I think also probably has the gift of administration is Karen Kinnemore. And she has that ability to see a project and to bring the right people together to get something done. I've seen her do it over and over and over again. I don't know if that is your primary gift or not, Karen, but I certainly see that in you. And there's this ability to just kind of see all of the parts and how all the parts need to come together. But it is also something that I've noticed, and I haven't seen this in Karen, but I've noticed something that people who have the gift of administration, because they're so good at it, they will take on a project just simply because they see that it needs to be done, or they think it needs to be done, or that it's a need that has to happen. But it may not be the need that God has assigned them to. You see, God operates on the basis of need. Everything that God does is on the basis of need. God is in the business of meeting needs. That's what He does. My God shall supply all your need according to His riches and glory. So God is working on the needs. You want to know what God's up to in your life? Look at the needs in your life. You want to know what God's up to in the church? Look at the needs in the church. You want to know what the needs are in what God's doing in the community? Look at the needs in the community. And that's how you get in on what God's doing. And so a person who has the gift of administration may see an issue and say, wow, here's a need, I'm going to get in on this, when it may not be where God wants them. He may have something else that He wants them to do, but they've jumped in on this because they understand it's a need. And so to take charge sometimes of projects that are not God's direction for them, that's a misuse of that gift. The fifth misuse is delegating too much work to others. You can understand how that would happen. Just, this has got to get done, so you've got to do this, and so-and-so is, Hurst is a slacker here, so you've got to pick up, where he hasn't done the job, and so you go do this, and so you just delegate too much work to a person who's willing to do the work. The sixth misuse is overlooking serious character faults in valuable workers. Sometimes the workers that we use have character faults, or they have flaws, and we just say, I know that this person is like that, but we're just going to overlook that problem because we got to get this done. That's really dangerous. That's very, very dangerous. Listen, you have to be very careful with people's character faults and flaws, and understand that those things are flaws, they're failures, and we have to minister around those areas, but we can't just ignore them. And a person with the gift of administration better not do that. The seventh misuse is being unresponsive to suggestions and appeals, because they're so focused on getting something done. When somebody says, you know what, how about if we do it this way? I think this might be a good way to do this. They become very, that's not how we're going to do that. We're not going to do that this way. That's very dangerous, because, sometimes people see a better way of doing things than you do. So that's a misuse. And then finally, failing to give proper explanations and praise to workers. It's just, we got to get this done, and so they fail to completely explain how it needs to be done. I don't know about you, but I need things to be explained to me. I'm dumber than a box of rocks sometimes when it comes to certain things that I'm supposed to do, and I need somebody to explain it to me to help me understand why it has to be done this way. Because if I don't understand why it's important, sometimes I'm just going to go, well, I don't see it, but I'll do it, but I'm not really in it. You know what I'm saying? We're like that, and so a person with the gift of administration needs to be able to give the proper explanation and give the proper praise to workers for the job well done. So those are the characteristics and misuses of the gift of administration.